So how do you asset manage in a crisis? Let's talk about that today, because I'm going to tell you there are a lot of new operators in the multifamily space that have never gone through a crash. And I think some of them could have a rude awakening, because it's super critical during a downturn like we're anticipating, I think we're already in, to keep your tenants happy, for example. Okay, you've got tenant retention is one example, and it's super critical. I'm going to tell you, it's much easier to keep a tenant happy than it is to turn over a unit, and that's one big component of how to asset manage in a time of crisis. You got to make sure your properties stay in tip-top shape, and you focus on that customer experience. You just be maniacal about resident happiness. Keeping your eye on things like Google reviews and your reputation, and making sure you answer any negative ones and seek out positive ones from your residents. You make sure you pay attention to your work order fulfillment. That's one of the KPIs that we monitor very closely on a weekly basis on our larger assets with our management company, is how long are those work orders open, and why are they open that long? Because that means somebody's not happy and they're not getting their job done. So that's super important. Is your team calling a resident after every work order to make sure that they're satisfied and happy? You can have VAs do that. They can call right after a move-in, for example, and after they've gone through the lease, and ask them if they're happy once they moved in and need anything. You could do longer leases as a strategy through periods like this. You could do rent caps temporarily. I know that might kill your business model and some of your returns to your investors, but that's better than having some real problems with your occupancy. Make sure that it's super easy for a resident to turn in a maintenance ticket, and it's easy for them to fill it out online, for example. And mystery shop, have someone mystery shop your on-site people to see, do they have smiles on their faces when people come in? Do they jump out of their chair to greet people? Are they focused on resident happiness? Paying very close attention to your pricing in a time like this is super. Doing market surveys and seeing what other people are charging. And if they're dropping, you drop very quickly so you don't have any lag. We could very well see people moving together into one bedrooms even, or moving in together and cozying up, right? So take a look at your pricing. You might consider adjusting it right away if you have to. But again, just remember this, keeping your units filled is the important thing, because your biggest expense operationally running an apartment complex is turnover. That's your biggest expense. And so, super important that you pay attention to that. And like I said, pay attention to what's happening around you. Make sure you're mystery shopping your competition regularly. Make sure your amenities and features match up. If they lower their prices, you lower yours. And through a crash like this, you could capture market share if you're careful. I would encourage you to rewrite your assets to current underwriting, because there have been a lot of changes in interest rates and exit cap rates right now, where you might have a problem when your loan comes due. So you need to re-underwrite it and see how it measures up, so that you don't get caught in a lurch a few months before you've got that you need to have a liquidation event of some sort. You would want to make sure you anticipate drops in your economic occupancy. There's physical occupancy, people living in the units. Economic occupancy is the people that are actually paying, right? So you want to pay attention to that. You may want to slow down your CapEx right now, which is your renovations that you're doing, just to conserve cash if it looks like things are going to slow down. I would encourage you to have higher operating reserves, your money in the bank in case the what hits the fan, and I think it's hitting the fan. But you've got to be religious in your KPIs. How are you doing on your income to your budget? How's your occupancy versus what you projected? How are your expenses versus what you projected? And again, you pay attention to those aging work orders. How many are past 24 hours? That could be a problem. You could also, I'd encourage you to survey the residents, see how they feel about what's going on. So again, with crisis comes opportunity. If you're prepared, there'll be going to be great deals coming. But if you've got assets already, you better be paying attention. You better be microscopically paying attention to what's going on. So I had a billionaire talk to my multifamily boardroom mastermind. I host a mastermind. It's about $16 billion in assets in there. And I had a billionaire named Albert Barras talk to our group. And I asked him, what did you do through 2008 and 9? He said it was really hard, but they watched every single dime. So there you go. So listen, if you're interested in this business and you don't know it yet, for God's sakes, come to my virtual boot camp. You know, I've got one pretty much every 2 or 3 months. You can come for about $97 typically. If it's more than that, just DM me. I'll get you that price. But I don't sell anything there. So again, if you want to learn multifamily, get there, and you'll be very glad you came. But anyway, you know, yeah, and like I said, it's 2 full days of training, nothing being sold for $97. Kind of a no-brainer. You learn every aspect of this business. You know, finding deals, building your team, picking a market, evaluating a market, underwriting your deal, financing your deal, raising all the money you need for your deal, you know, syndication, joint venture, property management, all of it. You learn all of it. And of course, if you know me, I spend time on mindset, so you actually take action with what you learn too. So anyway, I'm sure the link will be here in the comments somewhere where you can come. And by the way, I've got a lot of free, the link is in Rod's links as well, rodslinks.com, and I've got a lot of free resources there, so go check that out as well. I'll see you on the inside.